A man stuck on an uninhabited island has already decided to escape from here. But when a special partner, a life-threatening body, which becomes the key to survival, crawls to the shore. In this video, we will summarize the story of the Swiss Army man. So let's start. Hank, who is stuck on an uninhabited island, wants to end his life. But a man, who is just about to sink, catches a glimpse of him in his neck. When he wants to go to him, he gets a little stuck, but the rope breaks. As he gets closer, the dead-looking guy faints, which, according to Hank, is funny. After that, he drops his bulletproof vest, so that he can hang himself with it, while the dead guy still faints. But this time he moves again. The water runs out, so Hank follows him and grabs the rope. Then, using it as a jet ski, they leave the island by propelling it. Hank, however, falls down and stops on his way. Then he wakes up, puts his bulletproof vest on his neck, and suddenly realizes that he was tied to the dry land. He remembers that he has a phone, which is not yet reachable, but he does not have the power to call. Then he tries to find help with his slipper. It is still shaking, so he solves the problem of the rope with a plug found in the forest. They go to a cave in the evening, because it is raining outside. Hank cannot sleep, so he talks to the wave, but it is not very communicative. So they sing to him. Before it gets quiet, he closes his dead-looking eye. But he opens it again. In the morning, a washing bear scratches his body, which Hank would like to eat in the morning, so he takes it to the sink. But he makes a mistake. No food, no water, but water starts to flow from the mouth of the wave, which fills his glass. When the water runs out, the dead man announces that he is called Manny, from which Hank is frightened and knocks him down. Then he apologizes and they have a nice talk. Meanwhile, Manny is bored with the dead at night, so Hank asks him what he remembers before the attack. But basically nothing. He does not even know what home is. Hank explains to him that it is a magical place, where there are a lot of press buffoons. Then he puts a little brush in his mouth, if it helps to recall his memories. Then Manny starts to hum the Jurassic Park music, but he doesn't know what it is. Hank therefore collects the garbage that can be found around him, and shows it to him, if it will refresh his memory. Meanwhile, he tells about life, which has a cacophony and a deadly part. Manny determines that according to these, the waves are garbage, like him, but Hank sees it differently. According to him, it is like a multifunctional Swiss girl, with whose help he can return to civilization, where everyone is looking for happiness, and if you are lucky, you will find someone who can live his whole life with you. This is love. Manny asks why he wants to go home, not just because he ran away from home because no one likes him. He is broken, empty, dirty, useless and old, simply a piece of garbage. Hank does not understand one thing, and tells him that he cannot say everything he thinks. Later, he tells Manny about the sex magazines, from whom this heart beats and his sex memory has a different effect. It turns out that Manny's penis is the direction that leads to civilization, so they cut off the long way. Meanwhile, Manny has to keep his spirit up, so they talk about fetishes and masturbation. When they stop to rest, Hank tells that his mother said that if he does it many times, he will grow old soon. So much so that they will die at once. But this did not happen, because the woman died a few years ago. So now his mother always thinks about masturbation. Manny says that from now on he will also think about Hank's penis, which, of course, they get along well. Hank wants his partner to be a hooligan again, which will be so. In the morning, Hank enters a bear den, and his owner approaches him from the nearby bush. Manny wakes up again, Hank shoots him, and they run away from the animal. Meanwhile, Hank's phone falls out of his pocket, from which Manny thinks it is his own. At the sign, he sees a girl who immediately falls in love with him. Then they try to get back on the mountainside, not much success. But Manny is still interested in the girl whom he thinks he knew in his life. If he could look at the picture again, maybe he would remember who it was. Since there is not much charging on the phone, Hank rather dresses up as a girl whom Manny sees as beautiful, but still does not know where she comes from. Hank does not tell him that it is actually his phone, and he looks out for the girl. Instead, he rather puts a garland around him with the help of his body. Then they act as if Manny just met the girl, while he remembers that she is called Sarah Johnson. So Hank realizes that Manny may have known the girl, and that he may have been flirting with her for days. It turns out that the garland can not only be used as a tool, but also as a weapon. So Hank shoots his gun at her, so they can get back on the mountain, and there is no longer any problem with starvation. Then they go home for days, while Hank uses his friend's new and newer skills in order to survive. One night they drink vodka, and thinking about Sarah, they almost choke. The next day they stumble across a stream, but they do not seem to be in danger. The stream breaks under them, and they both fall into the water. Manny almost drowns, but Hank catches him and chokes him. Then, due to the distance, they fly out of the water and continue their journey. In the evening, they realize that there is too much loneliness in the world. Maybe they should not go home, they could live in their own rooms. After this, Hank goes to pee, and a car drives by. He looks at his phone, and is surprised to see that there is space power here. Instead of calling for help, he looks at Sarah's Instagram, who turns out to have a friend, but Manny does not. Hank then tells his friend that the phone is not his, just because he thinks that he should help him get home. But before they get into a fight, it turns out that they are not alone. A bear surrounds them. Hank shoots a bullet into Manny's mouth, who sees the picture of his girlfriend and boyfriend, which makes him unusable. Hank hits the bear on the forehead while he is limping on his feet. Then he picks up a flamethrower and starts to run with it. When Manny picks it up, the flamethrower ignites, which makes them fly very high. But Hank falls off the tree, and the bear bites him. This is when it turns out that both of them will die. Which is not so bad, because at least they become mad together. But Manny does not give up so easily. He starts to crawl, falls off the tree, then crawls to the campfire and burns himself. As he flies up, the bear bites him. Hank kisses his girlfriend and thanks her for saving him again. Then he stands up. When he comes to her, he is surprised to see that Manny is kissing her. But he is even more surprised that they are in her yard. They start to rumble, because Hank panics that he has to talk to the girl. He says that he feels himself as a coward and useless person. Manny thinks that everyone thinks the same about him, but he has to find the person who will accept him. Then a little girl thanks him, who thinks that she was dressed for Halloween. When Manny shows his abilities, he hurts himself, so his mother, Sarah, comes out of the house and asks the strangers. Manny is completely broken as the woman looked at him, so he repents. But Sarah comes back with a glass of water and tells him that she called for help. The rescuers see Hank, and they want to take Manny to the haunted house. They call Hank's father with a phone in his pocket, because they think that his son is in the bag. They want to make an interview with Hank, during which the confusion is revealed. The Manny in the bag is unknowingly identified, but his friend does not want that a nameless creature will run away. He slides down the mountain, into the river, and then to the shore. The others follow him, and then they find what they built in the past days. Sarah asks if he did all this alone, to which Hank replies that they are both worth it. Finally, Hank is captured by a police officer, and everyone is staring at him. He says that he has to show them something, and he hides himself, which makes them even more confused. But when they move away, they hear gunshots. So Hank runs to his friend, and he puts something in his ear. At this point, Manny starts to shake his body, and with a loud gunshot, he sinks into the ocean. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.